The first topic for today is, what was your first reaction when you first found out you were pregnant?
My first reaction, I was on a roller coaster. I was really sad and happy at the same time. I had two reactions. I was sad and happy. I was sad more so because I had three reactions. I was afraid too because it was all new to me. And I was sad because I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm about to be a mom. And then I was happy at the same time because it was like, oh, I'm about to bring a new little me into the world. So I kind of experienced like a roller coaster of emotions as far as being pregnant. That's what comes with it.
Now, were you finished?
I'm done.
I'm sorry. Okay, so when I found out I was pregnant, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to pee again. I had snuck and purchased a pregnancy test at Target because I didn't want my sister or my brother to find out.
Hello, quick question. What made you sneak about a pregnancy test?
Because grandma had just had open heart surgery, and I really didn't want to know if I was pregnant or not.
I mean, it's still like, you were sick, were you throwing up?
No, I'm constantly pissing. Shit. Like, that's something people don't tell y'all. Y'all pee a lot when you're pregnant.
Oh, yes, that comes with
So I was constantly peeing, and I said, well, let me take a pregnancy test. So at 3 o'clock that morning, I peed on the stick, y'all. I didn't even get to wipe my girl parts before that thing said I was pregnant. And I looked at it, and I screamed. I was in the bathroom. I screamed. I sat down on the floor. I started crying and hyperventilating because I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? My grandma just had open heart surgery, and I don't know if she's going to make it. So I didn't know if I was going to have to do this by myself. Me and my baby daddy was a piece of work. So I just texted him a picture at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, you're pregnant. And then he called me, like, are you serious? And we were both quiet for a long time. So I was shocked. I was scared. I didn't get happy for a while.
My name is Baby, and I'm B-Brick.
What were your reactions when you found out you were pregnant?
I was scared and shocked because I just graduated from school. I was also 18. I couldn't go to college like normal people. I wanted to live on a dorm, and I couldn't do that because I was expecting a whole child. And like normal people be having a relationship with their baby daddies. Me and my baby daddy, we was just messing off at the time. That's about it. Well, my first pregnancy, I was scared. I was 17, had just graduated. I think I got pregnant like 3 months after I graduated. I was scared to tell my mom she was a preacher. I thought she was gonna be mad. I left her a voicemail on the phone. It was horrible. But the second one, my little girl, I was shocked. And the third one, I'm like, Lord, not again.
My name is Sade.
And I'm Shay.
And what was your reaction when you found out you were pregnant?
Okay, so when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, I was 17, and my mom woke me up and was like, you missed your cycle. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, come in my bedroom, pee on this stick, we're gonna go from there. So I was like, okay. So I went in there, sat on the toilet, peed on the stick, sat down, fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I was like, oh snap, I just had this dream, Mom, that you told me to come in here and pee on this stick. And then I looked around and was like, girl, this shit is real. So I was pregnant. I told my mama not to tell nobody, but instantly, before I could come out the bathroom, she was on the phone with everybody. So I went into my room and I called up my husband, which was my husband then, and I was like, babe, I'm pregnant. And he was like, hold on, came with Madagascar on, you gotta wait right quick. So I'm like, fuck. So I waited till the little thing's phone went off, and I told him again. And he was like, oh, I already knew you felt you about 4 or 5 weeks. And I was like, oh snap. So found out. Everybody else knew but me. Nobody told me I was pregnant. With my son, I ended up telling him I was pregnant, and he was at work, and he actually ended up running up on a curb. And then that's when he was like, oh snap, he was so happy, and I was nervous. And yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Okay, when I found out, I was at the clinic actually to get back on birth control. And in the midst of that, you know, the process to make you do the urine test and all that first. So before we even moved forward, the date was December the 17th, 2013, and the lady was like, Merry Christmas early, and I was like, huh? She was like, you're pregnant. I was like, okay. I don't think I didn't have like an ill feeling or a scared feeling. It was more of a shocking, like, okay, I'm pregnant. First person I called was my sister. I left out the clinic and went straight and called her. Went back in, came home, and told the father. Well, I didn't tell him. He was asleep, and the first thing he do when he wake up is go pee. So I set the paper on the sink next to the toilet, and he was kind of halfway woke. When he saw it, he was excited. He instantly went and told his mother, call my mama. So my first reaction was shocking, but I was cool. I wasn't expecting it, but it was worth it. That's all I'm gonna say.
What were your pregnancy experiences, both positive and negative?
Okay, I'll go with the negative first. The negative for me was I didn't get spoiled by the dad like I wanted to. I didn't get my feet rubbed. I didn't get belly rubs. I didn't get my back rubbed. I'm not gonna say I didn't get it like never, but not as much as I wanted to. I didn't get those. I never got the waking up in the middle of the night going to give me some ice cream and chips and stuff like that. I never got that. That was the most negative for her, because when I thought about pregnancy, that's what I thought about. You get your feet rubbed, you get spoiled, you get this, you get that. And I didn't get that from the dad. The positive part of that was I got it from his mama. She spoiled me, fed me. She rubbed and talked to my stomach every day. Like, I'm pretty sure my baby knew her voice probably better than he knew mine, because she talked to him every day, rubbed my stomach, called her little snoot pooch, whatever she called him when I was pregnant. She still calls him that now. That was positive for me, and I had a lot of support from my family and from his when I was pregnant. That would be the positive for me, having support and still being spoiled by his mom. But the negative, I didn't get spoiled by him like I wanted to.
Positives. I didn't have no morning sickness. I was never sick. I was good. The dad had all those problems, so big ups to him. I could eat hot chips and he'll throw them up. So yeah, I got extra spoiled. I got everything. The only bad part was he made me eat those nasty prenatal vitamins. They are the worst. And yeah, so I got all the good stuff, all the rubs, all the foot, all everything, the long baths, unconditional love. Yeah. With both my children, with my son, I'm afraid of pap smears because that's when I found out I was pregnant. She's down there talking about, you're pregnant. I'm like, nah. So now I'm still scared to get them, but I get them when I found out that I'm pregnant. And negatives, that's one. But another negative, I don't think I have any more negatives. Everything was good. I didn't even show that. Like, I didn't start showing until I was about 7-8 months. Like, snapback was real. So I think I had an amazing pregnancy, like, to the end. Bad then.
What were the positives and negatives of your pregnancy experience?
So, the positives of my pregnancy experiences was how I got spoiled with food. Everybody wanted to feed me. But I had a lot of negatives. Let me tell you, young ladies, they're not going to tell you about the negatives. They're going to say it's pretty, have a baby, all that. I was sick as hell for up to about 7 months of my pregnancy. And then I kind of bounced back and got a lot of energy. But I had a lot of negatives more so than the positives, because with the positives, hell, my food wouldn't even stay down. So it was kind of bad for me. I had more negatives than positives during my pregnancy, but after I had my baby, that was the biggest positive of all.
Whew. Well, I got a whole negative pregnancy experience. We're gonna just only touch bases on a few of them, but one of them being my baby daddy
made me take multiple pregnancy tests. He sent me to the doctor, didn't believe the doctor.
Should have made fast take one.
I know. His mom said I forged pregnancy papers from Christ Community. And I was just like, how the fuck you forged pregnancy papers?
Oh, they can do that, but I don't think you did that.
Right.
They do.
They did not believe that I was pregnant until after, like, we had sex, and then I started bleeding. I ended up at the hospital, and that's when he finally saw the baby on the ultrasound and was like, oh shit, she really is pregnant.
Nobody talks about the pressure. It felt like I had a baseball lodged into my vagina the entire time. So I put myself on bed rest, and
Hold up, you put yourself.
I put myself on bed
The
rest.
doctor did put you on.
No, I quit my job working. Me and Aaron actually worked together.
Yeah.
So I quit my job and I just did not go back because I was sick.
But I remember them. I knew you were pregnant, and they were like, "Oh, Dominisha broke her arm." I'm like, "Oh, she did. Okay, yes, I guess that's what's going on." I'm not gonna tell them her business, and that's what they think. That's what's going on. Then yes, that's what's going on. Yes, her arm. I gotta go check on her because I didn't even know her fucking arm.
About your positive and negative pregnancy experiences.
My negative is I was always sick. I had preeclampsia with 2 pregnancies. The second baby was 30 weeks, and the third baby was 25 weeks. And the positive, I had a great support system, and my mom, she was always there for me. My positive situation during my whole pregnancy was that I kept my daughter. And my brother-in-law, he the one basically gave me the idea of keeping my daughter. When I said my daughter, I was so happy. But all the negative problems that I had in my pregnancy was didn't nobody love me. They didn't feed me. They didn't love me at all. They didn't feed me. You know, when you're pregnant, you be hungry. And then nobody want to eat. Then nobody want to feed me. Everybody want to ask me for my food. Now I'm pregnant, and I didn't want to give my food away. And this one event, me and my sister, we went downtown. 4th of July, actually. 2013. Lord. The worst experience in my life. Too many people was there. They were bumping me. You know, I got the big old belly. And there were just too many people in my way.
All right. So, do you guys feel like talking about your birth stories?
Okay, I'm gonna go first. So, with my daughter, my water broke early, probably like around 7-8 months. I can't remember, that was so long ago. She's 9 now. And what happened? I had an emergency C-section. I almost died. So the doctor ended up coming in. Oh no, wait a minute, I skipped the part. I was in labor 3 days straight because I kept going there. It actually snowed on the day that I had her. We slid all the way to the hospital. They made us slide all the way back because they sent me home for 3 days. And when I finally got there, I ended up getting an emergency C-section because they said that I was losing her. So the doctor came in and instantly was like, "Are you willing to die to give birth to your child?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, what's up? I live my life, she can live her life." So my mom and my husband, they in there arguing, talking about who gonna go in there with me. So instantly the doctor was like, "We ain't got time for that. Somebody suit up, we gone." So I'm leaving. My husband, the dad, actually ended up going in with me. And they cut her out. I didn't get to see her. Like, I wanted to take her first bath and do all that, but I didn't get to do all that. I got 2 blood transfusions. And when I finally got to the room and changed her diaper and everything, she ended up having like webbed toes and club feet. So we still work with that. We battle with that now. So that's the end of my daughter. With my son, I had 2 doctors. I had a high-risk doctor and a regular OB. And I had holes in my placenta, but the C-section with him was so much better. I was gonna push, but they said he was too big and he was gonna rip my cesarean back open. So they cut him out. And that's pretty much probably it with him. Yeah, he's still bad. me and my husband blood don't mix, and I have the RH factor. I actually got my tubes tied because the doctor told me not to play with my life anymore because I almost lost my life with both kids. So 4 blood transfusions and 2 kids locked it down, tubes tied. Yeah.
Okay, so my birth story, I think I was in my last 2-week checkup, so I was probably about 36 or 36 and a half weeks, and my blood pressure was high. It had never been high throughout the whole pregnancy, but it was high at that appointment. And since it was high at that appointment and I was kind of getting late into my pregnancy, he sent me to a high-risk doctor. Sent me to the high-risk doctor on a Monday. They wanted me to do my urine for, I think, like 72 hours. So I had the little bag in the refrigerator on ice. I had to do my urine for like 72 hours. When I went back to the doctor that Thursday, blood pressure was still high. Blood pressure was so high to the point where they told me to go straight to the hospital. Don't stop at home, don't do nothing, go straight to the hospital. And there was about 1. About 5, they told me they were going to induce me because my blood pressure was too high. It was going to be a risk. I could possibly die because I had pre-eclampsia. And my mom was there at the hospital with me. She was crying, probably calling everybody, telling them I'm about to die. But it was serious, but it probably wasn't as serious as my mom had made it seem. So they induced me that Thursday on the 17th at about 6. I think they put a pill inside my vagina. And by me having pre-eclampsia, I could not get the medicine to really help me dilate because I had to be on magnesium so I wouldn't have seizures. So I really couldn't dilate. They really induced me to me to sit there and have a C-section anyways because I didn't have no medicine to help me dilate besides the pill. They came back and checked the next day and it didn't work. I was exhausted from being up 24 hours. I did not experience any cramps or anything like that while I was in labor. I was really just tired and exhausted. So when the nurse came in that night, probably around midnight after they induced me, I was like, look, I'm tired, I want a C-section. So I'm going to talk to the doctor about it tomorrow. Next day came about 4. I had Dr. Rader, who's big as hell, had big ass hands. I asked him, can you please let the nurse check me because your hands hurt. So the nurse checked me and it still hurt when there was just uncomfortable feeling. Anywho, them comes just sticking their hand up in you to see how far you're gonna dilate. So about 4:30 they wheeled me into the in the room. I got the spinal tap. As soon as I got the spinal tap, I felt my whole body go numb. I was terrified. I told the man, the anesthesiologist who was beside me, I was like, look, if I let you know I'm getting sleepy, are you gonna be able to help me? He was like, yeah, I don't want to die. Because I felt like I was on such a drug that if I would have fell asleep, I would have died. So every time I felt like I was sleeping, I'd tap him and then he'll push something and I kind of wake up a little bit. So by 5:01 p.m., I felt him tugging and I don't know what he cut me with, but I smelled it, I smelled the skin burning.
Yeah.
And then my baby came out. He was not breathing when he first came out. I'm trying to look over the cover like, where my baby is. He eventually started breathing. Turned around, his dad at the time was crying. I'm like, nigga, what you crying for? And he was crying, but my baby was born at 5:01 p.m. We didn't go straight home because he was jaundiced, so they kept us for 3 days. We went home and at the time, I would probably say he was the perfect little angel, but his ass is not no perfect little angel, but he's my little angel, and I love him to death.
Oh, he is bad.
So, would you ladies like to share a few details about your birth story?
Of course. Sure. Okay, so I'm going to start off with December 13th, 2012. That is when I went into labor. It was maybe about 10 o'clock that night. I had went to a beauty seminar, like y'all, we getting facials, we were walking around eating, and 10 o'clock that night, my back would not stop hurting. So I'm like, okay, maybe, it'll go away because I'm used to little pains here and there. But this pain would not let up. And Lorna was actually due on the 17th. So I'm like, okay, my back still hurting. It was 10. 11 o'clock rolled around, those pains still coming back. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I was calling my sister Erica and my mom, like, look,
I'm in labor or something. I don't know what's going on. You guys gotta come help me. I can't go to sleep. I'm in pain. So they finally got to me. We made it to the hospital about 6. And when I got there, they was like, well, Miss Kathy, your water hasn't broken. You only dilated 1 centimeter. I'm looking mad as shit. Like, what you mean? I've been hurting for hours. Only 1 centimeter. And they're like, if you don't dilate to 4 or 5 centimeters by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock that evening, we're going to send you home. This bullshit. You're not going to send me home. So, my mom and sister, we walked up and down St. Francis Hall, y'all. And you could tell every time I was having a contraction, because, like, they would be walking ahead of me, and I would just stop and grab the wall. And I'm like, ah. Okay, keep talking. You know, after the contraction. So,
warrior.
About 6 o'clock that evening when they came back to check me, I had dilated down to 5 centimeters. And they were like, well, Miss Kathy, you walked it down, you walked the baby down, but we have to induce your labor right now, or if we don't, you're not gonna get any medicine when it's time to push this baby. I'm like, okay, well, she gonna induce me. As soon as they induced my labor, I must have sat at 7 centimeters for like 3 hours. I wasn't pushing the baby out until 10 o'clock that night, and I pushed it out at 10:03 that night. And when I say, y'all, oh my God, it was so terrible. Lauren's father was in the room, and my sister was in the room. Oh, these motherfuckers are up. They are dancing, singing, and everything. And I'm just laying on the side of the bed throwing. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. This hurt. I can't push her out. They're gonna have to take her out of me. Like, I'm just, and they just smile, and they just, I'm like, look at the motherfuckers. The fucking motherfuckers. And you know, and I finally pushed her out after probably 100 pushes, and I mean, it was beautiful after then, but yes, it was a crazy, crazy experience. It really was. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hand it over to you.
I'm just in the house by myself, in a room by myself, basically. Getting all this pain, going through hell. Took off my clothes, got in the tube. I ain't gonna lie, that water did help. I got out the tube, got back in the tube. I was just crying, going through hell. Then nobody wanted to take me back to the hospital till early in the morning. Let me tell y'all what they did. They did me so wrong. They did me so wrong. They did me wrong. My mama, my sister, Kalisha Robinson. They all did me wrong. They took their precious time getting ready, getting up, taking a bath, gotta cook breakfast. I'm just going through pain. They want me to count my contractions. Baby, just count your contractions. That's my mom said. No, this me, mama, I don't want to count no contractions. Just take me to the doctor. Lord have mercy. They took all year. They were playing with my emotions. They really was. Whew. I told Kalisha when she had one, I'm gonna do her the same way. Whew, I can't wait. Okay. So after that long period of time of waiting on them to get ready, satisfied, whatever here they had to do because I was still in pain, they finally took me to the doctor. I get there. Now after all they do all this x-ray shit in hospital, and my water head broke, cause they was gonna break my water. My water head broke on the bed, and they gave me my shot too. My mama didn't want me to get this shot, so me and her we was arguing in there. They asked me did I want my mom to get out the room. I was like, nah, she can stay. So she was upset with me, but I got my shot, yeah. That was like the first time I ever took a shot like an OG. But I'm still OGB, okay? I'm still OGB, okay? Whew. But since I ain't got my shot, since something wrong with my back, my shot was like to half of my body. So my right side was numb and the other side was, I can still feel the pain. So after all that, I had my baby. And let me tell y'all what the doctor did. Everybody went home Cause they thought the baby wasn't gonna come. So they thought the baby would come the next day. But I ended up calling Kalisha, telling her to go ahead, come up here, the baby. They're gonna go ahead, you know, I'm about to go ahead push and whatnot. So Kalisha rushing up to the hospital. Soon Kalisha come in. Now I supposed to be the first one to hold my baby, but I wasn't. The doctor gave my baby to Kalisha.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Benny B. That was amazing. B. Britt, let's talk about your birth story.
My first pregnancy was full term. I had him at 36 weeks. I had to have him because my blood pressure had got high at the end. So they rushed me to do a C-section. But my second pregnancy, I had went to the hospital and they was like, we're gonna keep your blood pressure 200 over 100. They was like, you can't eat. We finna put you on magnesium. I went a whole damn week. I couldn't eat. I was about to lose my damn mind. But on the 6th day, he was like, we finna go ahead and take the baby, cause your blood pressure still ain't down with the medicine. So they rushed me to do a C-section. She was 3 pounds, 6 ounces when she came out. She stayed in NICU for 2 months. And my third pregnancy was the worst one. I had went to the hospital. I think I was in there 3 days. On the 3rd day, he was like, we're gonna go ahead and take the baby. I was 25 weeks. And he came out 1 pound, 10 ounces. Before all that, he was like, the baby ain't gonna make it. So I'm like, okay. I just started crying. And he was like, no, the baby ain't gonna make it, but we're gonna go ahead and take the baby so you won't have a stroke. So, got to the emergency, got to back there to do C-section. He came out crying. And they were, all the doctors and nurses, they were shocked. Yeah, I was shocked too. Hey, I was full of though. But they rushed him to the NICU. He was doing okay, but he wasn't breathing on his own. So they put him on a breathing machine, life support. And he stayed in the hospital for 3 months. And he's big and healthy and bad as hell now.
So my blood pressure had been rising every week. My doctor decided to go ahead and induce me instead of letting me deliver on December the 25th. So I went in the hospital, Methodist Germantown, December the 11th, 2012. My baby daddy decided to show up with all white on, and his mama came. And my grandma said, why did you wear white to a birth of a baby? And they started arguing. And my grandma argued with his mama. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then they gave me some shit in my hand because they wanted me to go to sleep and get some rest because it's going to take a while for the medicine to start working. They gave me that shit and instantly I wanted to color. I don't know what the fuck happened. Everybody was like, I was like, everybody get some crayons, let's start coloring. And then I threw up. I don't know what type of medicine they gave me, but obviously I had a bad reaction to it. Going into the next morning, the doctor took the medicine out that they induced me in, and then I got me one of those epidurals because I was just tired. It felt like cramps to me. So I got an epidural that felt awesome. The doctor came in and broke my water, his bitch ass. He like 7 feet. And got the hand, both of his hands is like this. And big as hell.
2 hands for one.
2 hands for one. And my grandma gonna say, bitch, you won't have another baby. I said, no, I'm not gonna have another fucking baby. This shit hurt. We don't want no. So then, like, I was progressing. I got to 10 centimeters, actually 9.5. And it was like, well, you can start pushing. And after pushing like 25 times, Ray brought his ass back in there. And he was like, oh, this is gonna take a while. I was like, no, it's not. You finna take this out of me. And he was like, do you really want one? And the nurse Mary, she was like, you don't have to have a C-section. I said, cut it out. I am tired. My grandma, my baby daddy, and his mama were all arguing and shit. I was tired. Now, in the background, all my cousins done showed up, and the rest of my baby daddy's family done showed up. And I get wheeled back to the operating room. They gave me morphine, which is life. That is the best drug out there. Like, they need to put that shit on the streets.
No, oh my God. No. Crack it in the making.
But they gave me the morphine, and I started blinking in and out. They pulled my baby out of me. My grandma showed me the baby. I was like, ugh, this baby is back. No. I said, wow. And then I blinked out again. I was in the room. I heard Kelsey crying, but I hadn't seen her yet, really, because I was still doped up on morphine. That shit is the juice. And next thing I know, the nurse runs back in, Nurse Mary. She's like, your family's in the lobby, they're arguing and fighting and shit.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? Because I'm high. She's like, what do you want us to do? I'm like, tell my baby daddy he's supposed to go home. And they put my whole family out. So when I woke up, my best friend Shay was just sitting there. I was like, where everybody at? And I was there by myself with Shay. She had the baby in her hand, and I'm like, oh, fuck, what happened? I had a baby. That was my story.
Look up in the mirror, oh my God, it's me. So much pride